Hey, I'm Robert Beal, and you're about to watch an episode of my podcast, The Bealcast, shot live at Café Corazon in the Crossroads. I sit down with Christina and Kate of the Tart Party podcast. They are witty, they are charming, and they are funny as f***. So if you enjoy it, please like, comment, and share. If you don't, like, comment, and share on Tart Party. Hey, my name is Robert Beal, and you are watching an episode of my podcast, The Bealcast. So I'm a loan officer in Kansas City, but I don't want to talk about any of that. And so today we are very fortunate to be in Café Corazon. Dulce Herrera let us shoot here. And I have, in my opinion, the biggest celebrities that I've ever had on my podcast.
No, that tracks.
Wow.
Yes. I have Kate Hogan. And I have got Christina Schaefer of the, did you see a little fear in my eye there just for a second?
You almost forgot my name.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, from Tart Party, and I am so excited to have you two here. How you guys doing today?
Great. We just recorded an episode of our show at my house, and we're excited to be here.
Okay. Do you feel like you still have a little bit, like enough left in the tank to be able to pull this off?
We have a little juice left.
Yeah, tiny bit.
Okay. So before we get started, I just have a quick question, just to make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
And is it okay if I fart?
Oh.
It depends on how long and how loud.
Yeah.
And if you ask permission.
Okay.
I guess you just did.
So you sound like you have some experience with that.
Yeah. So, sure. So our episode that dropped last week, I talked about a Jaws viewing party that I went to 4th of July weekend, where I walked into a public restroom, but the two stalls were occupied by two people who were also at the party, two people that I don't really know.
Yeah.
And they didn't know I was there, and one of them said to the other, hey, do you mind if I fart? Which is not a normal thing to hear in a women's... I don't know about men's
It's not a normal thing to hear at all.
Okay.
Like, this was like... I made my wife
men
listen
don't do
to
that?
this. No. I mean, they just let it rip most of the time, but yeah, no. And I'm sipping on yerba mate.
Sure. So she said, do you mind if I fart? And the other person said, oh, sure. And then it was just like 12 minutes of like Baja Blast.
Oh, no.
Like, I mean, like, and there were like levels to it. And then Christina's favorite part is like ending with tut, 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 tut.
As if she was running out of steam.
Yes.
And then I just slowly slipped away into the ether because I am not going to be hotboxed. I did not consent.
Yeah. I just think I think it's wonderful that you had this experience, because it's like it makes for a great story to listen to, and I'm excited to like hear it live in person. And so I think that the tut part, though, that's a really important like detail, because I think everybody knows what you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, it was like very symphonic, where like there's the rise, the denouement, and I mean, really just like there's the tail at the end that...
I'm surprised you stayed for the whole concert.
I was in shock. I was standing there like the Kevin McAllister.
And so, I mean, have you if you were in a situation where somebody was asking for that permission to do that, how are you going to respond?
I'd leave. I don't.
You just walk out?
Would you say, could you hold it in for just a second?
That's the thing.
Like, I'm just going to finish up really fast, and then you can do whatever you want.
The best thing that has happened to me, I really have not been witness to too many farts in my life. I will tell you that.
Okay.
My partner and I, we do not fart in front of each other. Sometimes I will giggle to the point where I do it, and then I'm like, excuse me.
No, I think that's the safe bet. I think that's a response. I can appreciate that.
Yeah, but one time I was in the same situation where, I might have said this on the podcast, but Liberty Hall bathroom stalls, and my friend Evie was in the stall next to me, and she farted, but it was like a cute fart.
Yeah.
And then she said, "Oops," or
as
like, "Excuse
women are
me."
prone to do, right?
Yeah, excuse me, and we both went. That was it.
But that's not what this was.
It wasn't
It was like a trucker thing.
Yeah, it wasn't a ship like being coming into harbor.
And but what's interesting about that is I think about like the people that I've been involved with, like relationships, marriages, a thing, and I don't really know that I've ever had like an open farting relationship with anybody, and so but my wife, who's since left, Like, I've heard her fart. And that was like, she's like the first partner. And I feel like there is a certain level of like intimacy associated with that.
Oh, for sure.
But like just strangers, or not even just strangers, just your friend. Like, I can't imagine somebody being like, hey man, do you mind if I fart? And me saying anything other than like, hell yeah, I mind if you fart. Like, go someplace else. Like, why is like, what is that about?
I think the asking is the weird part.
Yes.
I think like whatever happens in your bathroom stall just happens,
Yeah.
and everyone just kind of agrees that they're not listening and they're not paying attention, and it's like whatever, there's your personal business, and then you go out and you wash your hands and everything's fine. I think the asking part made it weird.
Yeah, consent is important, but this one's a weird one.
I would do, if I were in that situation where I really had to fart, I don't know if you guys do this like technique where you can sort of manage the sound of it by like spreading your like cheeks apart. And it's like good sound control where you can like make it, it's almost like controlling the balloon knot.
So the interesting thing about this is I've got note cards for the first time, and I actually wanted to talk about farting technique. There was actually like a sub point under the.
Well, there you
can I
go.
fart? No,
but
that's
it's good volume control, and I feel like that is what I would do. Where it would maybe SBD the other person, but at least
Yeah.
it wouldn't be this uncomfortably loud thing that you both had to like live with.
But the funniest part of this story is actually like the follow up, like a couple days later.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, I am very friendly acquaintances with the girl who consented. So I messaged her after the party and I said, I heard the fart. I heard that fart and I slipped out like I don't know, sneaky little bitch or something.
Yeah.
And it was left unread for like a full day. And I was like, oh my God, was she the farter? And I just like misunderstood what was happening.
You misidentified.
It's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So then she writes back and she's like, I read this and I honestly had no idea what you were talking about. And so I read it out loud.
That is insane.
I know.
That is insane.
I read it out loud to the group of friends I was with. And that farter happened to be in that group and was like, that's me. She's talking about me.
She admitted
Yes.
it in front of all of her friends.
That is crazy. Well, listen.
Like at brunch.
It's,
But she wasn't embarrassed in the first place. Maybe that's a freedom that we all should know.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. Like there are certain like bumpers of decorum that I choose to maintain in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know that anybody even knows what decorum, like the word decorum means anymore. And that's, which brings me to, this is just kind of like a side tangent. I love the vocabulary that you use. In fact, you used a word when you were describing it similar to like a murder scene, like blood spatter, and no, spluttering. That was the word. Do you remember you used the word to describe this experience of spluttering? Doesn't matter. I'm the one who's obsessed with you and your podcast. But I do think I think that's nuts to have that level of just like I did that. I don't know. I mean,
It surprised me, but it also maybe is a testament to their friendship and
Yeah.
maybe something I shouldn't be going around.
Yeah.
Like, let me do the podcast
Round.
tour,
I know,
like
really.
the rounds. Like, I witnessed the fart.
We're just going to see what morning shows we can get you on to tell this story.
yes, it's a good story.
I am never going to be invited back for the Jaws party again. And honestly, well, okay, do I want to go if that?
Listen, if that's acceptable behavior, because I think that every single like fart related like consent type conversation I've had around farts, I would remember all of them. I wouldn't be the friend that's like, I wonder what. This is interesting. What an odd thing for her to message me about.
That's such a good point because immediately I brought up the one other time I've been in that situation where it was like, ask forgiveness later. Oops,
Yeah.
excuse me or whatever.
Yeah.
But those are the two times.
Okay, so that's perfectly reasonable. Do you have anything else to add on the fart topic? I just want to make sure that it's good if I feel like I need to rip one.
I'm not okay with
no,
it.
Thank
Okay, good.
you.
Okay,
No, thank
all right.
you.
That's why. This is
It's
exactly
not
what I
the
asked.
time or place.
Okay,
I do
okay.
not consent.
Okay, fair, and I can respect that. So then my other question is, so listening to your podcast, what's with the language? I mean, it's harsh language. I think. I mean,
Like
you say
cuss-
fuck a lot.
Yeah.
a
we
lot.
we do that in real life.
Yeah, I actually love it. I'm just bringing it up because I think it's actually a beautiful thing. I think most people think it, and when they do not communicate like that, there's a certain level of not being authentic. And so I also think in terms of vocabulary, which I've talked about, I think it shows that you have a broad effective vocabulary, because every time you use the word fuck, it is exactly perfect for that situation.
Yeah, so we had a local director and friend of the pod, Darren Sextro, on, and he, in a lighthearted way, brought up the cursing and said that he and his niece have commented before something like, cursing is for people who don't have the vocabulary to express it in a different way. That is not as succinct as he had it, but for me, like, we do have the vocabulary. We use pretty, like, erudite words, I would say.
Yeah, you use erudite.
Right. But we also love saying fuck and cunt and twat and shit and shall I go on?
Oh, we didn't ask if we were allowed to swear on
You
this
can.
podcast.
I mean, I think we may bleep, we may not, but I love it.
Yeah,
No,
that's
I think
all right.
I think
you
we
can.
use it for effect too.
Yeah.
Like if we're talking about something and it just feels like it feels like an appropriate word to
Yeah.
say or for emphasis.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I can't think of a better word. It's just that's the word I want to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my all-time top 3 moments with Christina. We have been friends for 20 plus years. Was we were driving in her car and somebody cut her off and she yelled, "Fuck you, fuck you!" And the second "fuck you" was a noun. It was
Yeah.
one
Obviously.
word noun.
Yeah. So did you ever diagram sentences or anything like that where you had to like put, you know what I'm talking, where you had to put
Yeah,
the noun and all
sure,
that type
like
of
parse
stuff?
them out.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, right on. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just diagram that sentence, but
Sure.
I was an English major. I also
Yeah.
think that I need to put that out there.
Yeah.
Like if I decide to use fuck you as a noun, then it is a noun.
yeah, you can do that. And so,
It's
okay,
Shakespearean, really.
Oh yeah. Making up words is definitely Shakespearean.
you guys have a background in theater.
Yes.
Okay. How do you know each other? How did you get connected?
We did theater together at KU
Okay. Okay.
We did a play together
called Eleemosynary.
by
That's
Lee
another
Blessing.
good word.
Eleemosynary. ELEEY.
S-
MSY. Wait, hold on. No, I'm
Should
not
I
gonna
be
do it.
writing this down? Like,
That was the whole thing that like
I'm like, jump to the S.
that was
Sorry.
we spelled it during the play, so
Okay.
that's why we used to know how to spell that word.
okay.
Kate played my grandmother.
I played her grandmother.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
had to play a range of ages, so
Yes.
really it was Meryl Streepian.
Oh. That's what I've always said.
Okay. Okay. And so, what's your theater? I mean, did you do like high school productions, all of that type of stuff?
Yeah, that's
Musicals or theater or like all of it, the whole thing?
I have done musicals before, but I don't. I get nervous and I feel inauthentic singing on stage, so I don't care for musicals, but I like seeing them. But no, I just I pretty much just do, regular
Gotcha.
non-singing theater.
Gotcha. Did you sing?
Yeah, until I blew out my vocal cords singing Back in Black by AC/DC too many times at karaoke.
Really?
I think that's true. I really have
Okay.
done some serious damage.
Okay.
But yeah, I used to do musicals and plays. By the time I graduated with a theater and film degree from KU, I really thought I'm never auditioning for a play ever
Yeah.
again. I don't like this. What have I done? And now I'm an accountant.
Okay. It's interesting how that turns out. So when I was in high school, I was in musicals. I did every
nice.
year I did musicals.
Which musicals?
And so I was the first musical I was in was Oklahoma. I was Allie Hackham. And because I got to kiss I was a freshman. I got to kiss a senior, so that was kind of badass. She's kind
Yeah.
of hot. And then my sophomore year, I was Snoopy and You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown.
Okay.
And then I was Conrad. No, I was in Bye Bye. I wasn't Conrad Birdie.
Okay.
I had a buddy of mine who was always the lead, and I was like the comic relief. And then his
yeah.
senior year, my junior year, we flipped. So I was Albert Peterson, I think, is the leading Bye
yeah.
Bye Birdie, and he was Conrad Birdie.
The dad is. Oh wait, Albert. Oh no, Albert is the
Like the
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 English
love interest to
teacher.
Rosie,
turned-
yeah.
yes. And then, gosh, that just it's just so wonderful that you just had that interaction, because I had completely forgot about Rosie actually. But then my senior year, I was in are you familiar with Studs Terkel's Working?
Oh yeah, working. Sure.
I saw that at
ACTF?
Yeah.
Oh, so did I.
Yeah, that's how I know it.
So I did that. So I was like 4 different characters or whatever, and then I got out of high school, and I have a tough time with live theater. I feel like nobody. I mean, I understand what's going on with the blocking and everything, and so my wife enjoys it, and so but it's just that was something I did back in the past. But back to the podcast, you guys are very like in your episodes, you're very theatrical. You're very like, I mean, you guys capture a vibe, and it makes sense that you have a background in theater because you have a flair for the dramatic, I think. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. My brother told me that I was dramatic once, and I really don't think I'm a very dramatic person, but I think that I get, enthusiastic about things. And so I think when we talk about things on the podcast, for me, it feels that I'm just enthusiastically responding or telling a story or whatever, but it doesn't necessarily, when I think of dramatic, I think of, people who like cause drama or create drama, and
everything's just got it's got like this just like kind of cool edge to it that comes from, I think, from being intentional, but also like, with your background in English and drama, just you guys are really effective communicators, and you communicate in a very like specific way.
Thank you.
That's nice, because we do so many food reviews. I'm like, I have to come up with other words for delicious.
Cannot say interesting one more time.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah, I think that it is words are a big deal. So do you ever incorporate, like, what's your setup when you do an episode? Okay. Do you guys have I have like this note card. This is the first time I've done note cards like this for these episodes today, and it's way better. Do you have a structure that you work with? Do you have an outline? Do you have a script? Like, or you just like wing it?
When we first started, I feel like we had more of a structure, and now we sit down, we spend maybe our first 15 minutes before we hit record looking at, like, I look at my Instagram for the week and kind of look at where I went, and we'll say, do you have something to start with? And so oftentimes one of us will have a story to start with, which we don't want to tell the other until we start, because we want it to be organic.
Authentic, yeah.
So we'll like save stories. It's funny because we used to Marco Polo like every single day on the way to work and every single day on the way home from work. And now we barely use Marco because we are saving those stories for the pod, which is great. But doing those Marcos made us feel like, do we have something here that might be enjoyable to someone else? We don't know, but it's enjoyable to us. So
yeah. And so, okay, so then what was the deal where you were like, okay, let's do this. Let's do a podcast. Did you have any kind of look? Do you have any kind of vision of what it was going to lead to, or was it just like, let's just try to do this and see what happens?
Well, we spent...
Like, why do you do a podcast?
I think the seed of it was those Marco Polos. But it was almost like starting a business where, like, now we meet every Sunday-ish to record. We are very religious about getting an episode out a week. We drop an episode every single Sunday.
And we haven't missed a single one.
Yeah.
Even through, like, sickness and people being out of town and finals and all of that. Like, it's important to us to have the hour to record every week, and then to make sure that we're putting an episode out on time.
But even before we started recording, we met for probably like 6 weeks.
Yes.
At that same time-ish, to do almost, it really was like starting a business. We had to brainstorm a title, which took us quite a while.
3 or 4 meetings.
Oh, the title. So, the reason I'm the Bealcast is because I couldn't come up with a title. I'm like, I might as well brand that shit.
We would come up with titles we loved, and then we would Google it or look it up on like Overcast or something. We're like, nope, somebody has that.
Like we really loved Acquired Taste. I think that was my favorite one that we had looked at, because like I think we do swear a lot, and we do kind of have a unique relationship or perspective that we're talking about, and so it seemed like people might have an acquired taste for us, and so having a food podcast where those are the people that you're dealing with, but then they're also talking about food taste, and so like that felt like a good one. But of course, there's like 3 different podcasts called Acquired Taste.
Right.
So and Tart Party just captured it so well too. Like I was out last night, and I was at a friend's birthday party, and my friend recommended to another guest that he check out Tart Party. And so when I left, they were like, take cupcakes. And I said, oh, I'm not a sweets person. And he's like, oh, you missed Tart Party? And it was very Mae West. I was like, not that kind of tart, But it like has that great double meaning that like we do focus a lot on food.
Triple meaning, like, tart like a pastry, or tart like a...
And sour.
And then sour.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was like, what's the third one?
Oh.
Oh, that must be it.
But party only has the one meaning.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it sounds like it. I mean, I think the title, like, and I didn't know anything about you guys, right? So I went to the NPR event that I saw you on, and then I was we were going to go to Costa Rica, and so my wife wants to hike, like, and so I'm like, okay, I'm going to be like in a jungle. It's going to be super hot. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the Y. I'm going to get on a treadmill. I'm just going to march uphill for like 45 minutes, and then I'm going to sit in a sauna for 20 minutes.
Nice.
And so,
Is that at Kirk?
Huh?
Kirk? Do you go to Kirk? Why?
No, I go to the one in Parkville.
Oh, no.
Which
okay,
is,
yeah.
Which is interesting because you'll come out of the gym there and they'll have like somebody will have a spread of donuts out there. So
Oh,
it's sort of
what?
like, yeah, they're serious about fitness. And so anyway,
Fitness donut in your mouth.
yeah.
Sorry, I can't.
We want you to be a returning
I know, that's so
No,
stupid.
customer.
no, it's great. And listen, I'm just going to post it all over the place. And so, but like that's how I listen to your podcast. Your episodes was basically like trudging along, listening to that, and yeah, you guys do a great job of. I feel like I'm in the conversation, or more like I feel like I really want to be in the conversation.
Oh,
like I want to
nice.
be in the room with you, and I want to be like, yeah, like I want to contribute to it. And so you've done an excellent job of kind of capturing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That really was the point of
Yeah.
us putting together a podcast, or like, what do we want from this podcast? What do we
Yes.
want the feeling to be, the vibe to be? And all of our favorite podcasts are one where we feel like we're just listening to two of our friends, or you know, more than, I mean, I don't know, two of our friends who are having a conversation that we
Yeah.
just don't have to participate in.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you feel like from the time that you started the podcast to now, you know, how long did it take for you to feel like you were really capturing that vibe? Or did you feel like you had it like just day one? Or did you, see, I overthink everything, right? Or did you just not care? Did you say, we're going to do this and we're going to rock and roll?
I think that we just went into it doing our thing, doing what we've been doing on Marco, and hoping that somebody else would feel that way. But we haven't done anything specifically to cultivate that, except maybe our own feedback on like, oh, well, we've been doing this tasting segment every week, but it's a whole lot of like crunching and us saying, And so maybe that's not as exciting. And in fact, like when we looked at our Spotify numbers, that's where we saw a drop off.
You look at your Spotify numbers?
Yeah, like we look and see where people. I don't look at them a ton, but at the beginning, I would look to be like, I wonder if, like, specifically that kind of thing is working, because it feels maybe like it's not translating as well as we want it to. And then when the numbers back that up, it was like, well, we'll just do that when we have something super exciting, instead of every week going out and like, where can I find chocolate-covered crickets, or something like that.
I've been thinking. I mean, I've never looked at the numbers on Spotify. Like the first couple episodes that we did, I kind of looked at the YouTube numbers, and then I was just like, this is gonna, like, if I focus on the metrics, I'll stop doing it. You know, we had a conversation with Danny and I put this together. We had a conversation about like, it's really easy to do a podcast and be like, that's cringe, and you just never do it again. And so I committed to like, we're going to do 24 episodes. I think this is like 16 or something where we're at. But yeah, so that's cool that you just did it without like a concern, for where it was going to lead. How do you feel about where it's led to this point?
Feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're on the Bealcast, so I mean, things must be working.
I guess
I'm glad you laughed. I was like, that's going to die.
maybe you feel differently than I do about this, but I don't really think about where it's going or where it's going to go. I mean, like, I think maybe my commitment is just like, I'm going to do this for as long as it feels fun, or we're having a good time with it. And it's not as important to me, like, what our numbers look like or how many listens we have, as long as it feels fun.
Yeah. Well, you said, I can't remember who it was, and maybe at the time I couldn't tell you guys apart when I was listening to them or hadn't identified. But one of you talked about how just the fact that you hold that hour sacred between the two of you as friends, and I mean, what's better than spending time with somebody who's got 20 years of history with you, and and what's like kind of how you formed. I think that's the cool thing.
Yeah, I know that we talked about this on that podcast panel as well. But if we just said we are going to get together. Sorry, I just got braces.
It's okay.
Hard time
It's okay.
talking.
I have my Invisalign in my pocket.
Okay. We are going to get together every single week. We are going to get together on Thursday nights for dinner, and that is our thing.
Yeah.
We know that would get canceled probably 3 out of 4 times
Yeah.
because we both have stressful jobs and we both have other shit going on. But when you have a product that you're releasing together and nobody's sitting there like, where's the episode? I don't think anybody would like care.
I think we do have people who would care
I
if we
think
didn't.
you do.
At this point,
It's kind of surprising. I like wake up on Sunday mornings and I just like pop open Spotify to make sure it posted. And I'm like, how have 10 people listened to this already? And it's been out for like, 6 hours.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
there is like I feel like for me it's doing something. It's fun to get together and do it and feel like you're learning how to do different things, learning how to edit a podcast, learning how to market a podcast, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Kate said something to me once that made it feel more meaningful to me, where you said that it was a form of self-care, and knowing that she was in grad school and in a really, really stressful job at the time, it also felt like an act of friendship that I could do, where if like this hour was meaningful to her,
Yeah.
it was fun for me, but it also felt like something that I could give to her. I know
I'm
I've never
tearing up.
said
Oh my
that
God, I'm
before.
serious.
Well, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I was in a dark place for a while over the past year.
Yeah.
Because I took a job that I shouldn't have taken. Like, it was a
You didn't
messed
know.
up nightmare. And truly, like, she would show up sometimes and I would be crying or I would be having an active panic attack. And we'd just go in and she'd be like, do we need to not do this today? Like, no. Sit down. And, 2 minutes in, we're like laughing and having fun. And that like floated out of my mind. And it
Yeah.
really, I think, was important for my physiology to have that go away for a little bit, because even in my sleep I was having
Panic
sleep
attacks.
paralysis
Yeah.
constantly. I mean, I was a mess. And so even to have like an hour and a half reprieve from that was unbelievably important.
I think that something that comes through really well in the audio when you listen to this, because you don't do any video, right? Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah, well, your laughter is so genuine, infectious, so deep. And I think that's probably like when I listen to it, I'm like, I want to be in there with them. I want to laugh that hard. I want to feel something like that.
Oh.
And with the background in theater, it sort of makes sense. It's sort of, in some ways, when you talk about it, it's kind of like the show must go on type of a thing. And so you've got all this
Absolutely.
drama, all this stuff that's like weighing you down. But if you can put your focus on something that you really enjoy, that you're passionate about, it almost like opens up bandwidth.
Yeah.
Because it's just putting the light in instead of darkness. That's a metaphor that just came as I was working through it.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's funny that you say that about the laughter, because I was just introduced to Christina's stepmom a couple weeks ago, and she said, I knew it was you from the laugh.
Oh.
Because she listens to the podcast. Like, yep, it's me. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Whatever
But, like,
it is.
I mean, I've been told I have like a big laugh, and I think big laugh is just because you're just like being like completely bare, like you're just, you know what I mean? Like you're just like letting go of all pretense and just being yourself when people just like let go and laugh. And so, okay, I got another question for you guys.
Okay.
So I talked to you. I don't know that I met you at the NPR deal. I know that I've been.
We
did I?
talked briefly.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that you guys talked too.
Yeah, and so
I think it was just different times because we were working the room.
Yeah, I was so. Do you know Michael Wells? Do one of you know
Yeah,
Michael? Okay, yeah.
I do.
So Michael invited me to that,
Oh,
and that's
okay.
how I got there, and it was just kind of an interesting, because I do like networking for like mortgages and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So it was kind of cool to not have to network for mortgages. It was just kind of like be out there. Anyway.
Yeah, I hadn't seen him in like 20 years.
Yeah.
And I saw him in the crowd and I was like, hi. And I thought he didn't recognize me. And I was like, oh, that was weird. But then afterwards I was like, hi, I was roommates with Stephanie. He's like, oh yeah, I know who you are.
He is, so Mike, I sent him a message, hey, thanks a lot for inviting me to this. And then when you agreed to be on, I was like, check this out. And his response was like, something like, that's great. But like, he's a pretty solid, steady guy, Michael Wells. And
Yeah.
anyway, but back
He's
to.
like, don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, I mean, I figure like,
Like
if you're,
who?
if you're ever going to name drop somebody, it should be a librarian. And so, then I reached out to I can't remember. I think I reached out to both of you guys independently, but would you be on the podcast?
Yep.
Okay. And so, like, what was like kind of the emotions through the process for you guys one, being approached to be on my podcast, and then like leading up to actually being here? Or was it just, yeah, we're going to be on this guy's podcast?
Oh, kind of that. I
Okay,
mean,
fair. That's and I got another question.
No, I mean, we were like, oh,
Oh, I mean, I think that during the panel and talking to you afterwards, and then, talking to different people in the crowd, it was like it felt flattering that someone would care to have us on their
For
podcast.
sure.
Because we've been like a one woman and another one woman
and another one woman.
I mean, like we've had guests on our podcast, but besides Taco the Town, we had not been approached by someone that we did not know.
Yeah.
About anything.
Did that create some anxiety?
No.
Okay, right on.
But
I sort of wanted to be scary, but whatever.
No, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
we're used to talking is the problem.
Yes. Yes.
That was
The
funny.
panel was a little scary, but
The
sorry, go ahead.
panel. We had
Really?
serious imposter syndrome about that panel. That was, I mean, we were texting each other as we were sitting there, like fuck.
But you had said something earlier. I mean, like we do have a background in theater, and I feel like the two of us could have a conversation with anyone and not feel worried about it. So I was not worried about the panel until we got there.
Yes.
And then we saw the other people who were there, and people were talking about, the History Chicks had bin doing this for 16 years.
and had just come back from taking like 80 of their followers to Paris or something like that, and we were like, or when they were talking about monetizing, like that was no big deal, and we were just like,
I know we were texting each other under the table. At one point I was like, do you think we should just leave? Can we just leave right now? And I was kind of serious. Like if 20%, like if she had said maybe we should leave, then
yeah, it did. It felt a little embarrassing before it started. Like we were the. Do they
Not
know
only
who
the
they've
newcomers,
asked?
but-
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting. The thing that I was most amused by was, Frank Bowl was on there.
Mm-hmm.
And so the panel, somebody would ask a question like, what do you guys do with social media or something like that? And everybody would have their answer, and then he would pull up his social media person.
yes, I know.
And then what type of technology do you
His
use?
entourage. For real.
His family.
Which, listen, he's cool. He's like, kind of a standard here in Kansas City or whatever. But it was just
Absolutely.
interesting because it showed me, like, you can really just kind of do this, right? Like, you literally, like, the barrier to the market entry, that type of stuff with distribution anymore, it just doesn't exist. If you can think of it, you can figure out a way to get it out there.
Yeah.
You know what was nice was that Frank Bowl and the History Chicks, like they made us feel like we were one of them. Like
Yeah.
they didn't make us feel like you're new at this.
Yeah.
You don't have the numbers that we have. Like everyone was so nice and supportive and like talked to them
Yeah.
like genuine human beings. I thought that was really nice.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was. I mean, for me, it was a great to kind of like just see that, okay, these people are normal people just like me. Do you know what I mean? As I'm trying to go through this, so
Getting Frank Bowl to yell fuck
it was fun.
was a highlight of my entire life. And I'm not even joking. And the face that his wife made in the front
Oh,
row.
my
I mean, she
gosh.
was like, just like cringe.
And then she put her
Yeah.
head down.
She did. She put her head down like, we've talked about this, or
Yes.
something like that kind of
She
reaction.
was not happy. She was genuinely
But
not
afterwards,
happy.
she was like so nice to
Really
us.
nice.
And like, I don't think that it
I think
lasted
she was
for
mad
more
at
than
him.
I don't sure.
I mean, could it be a situation where she's just maybe more protective of his brand than he is?
Oh,
Very,
Do you know what
very
I
I
mean?
much
think that
so.
is 100% what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But afterwards, they were like, we can't wait to listen, and da-da-da. So very, very nice. But it was so fun to get Frank Bowl to yell fuck.
Yeah, it was hilarious. So the thing that I love, my favorite part of listening to an episode with the two of you, is when you're complaining about something. Like there is like I wrote this down. I wrote this down. Salty bitch mode. Like and I mean that like respectfully as possible. Like
That was
it's
actually
like,
one of the options for the title of our podcast, I think, at
Really?
one point.
are you serious?
No. Well,
Maybe. I mean, the salty was definitely one of
Okay.
probably salty.
the. Yeah, too salty was.
Oh, too salty.
Yeah, we were talking about that one for a while.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That does have the double.
Salty bitch mode is also a good
I
one,
love
though.
that. Yeah.
Well, so I think it was the same episode where you talk about the fart consent when you're talking about being at the restaurant, that it's like fast friendly or whatever, or you're just picking up to go and you're sitting there for like 40 minutes. And you talk about like your experiences with different, like with service. And the reality is, I mean, our time matters. And when you're in a situation where like, and you have a background in food, correct?
We've both been in the service industry, which, I mean, not that gives us the right to just like, I don't know, lay someone to waste or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like we know where the line is drawn in terms of what is reasonable to
Right.
complain about and what is not reasonable to complain
Right.
about, which I
think
think is
that's it.
super interesting as well.
I think we approached it with empathy, like
Yes.
empathy for the server. Like we know that they might be going through something, and I don't know that people who haven't been in the food industry really approach it in the same way. Like you have that saying that like everybody is going through something, right? But that's also true of servers. And so like you have no idea what kind of night they're having.
Yeah.
So I think we do try to approach it from like, it might have just been an off night, but this particular thing I think is generally unacceptable.
And one of the things, as like coming from the service industry, one of the very frustrating things was when people would get mad about things that were actually like, we were actually trained to do that. That's part of the training program. And just because I'm not clearing your plate as soon as it's empty, because I've been trained to wait for everyone, so one person's not sitting there like a pig asshole, like without like food around the other people. I mean, it makes people. My friend Linda will get so pissed if plates are cleared and she's still eating because it makes her feel very self-conscious. She calls it the Algonquin rule, and I haven't actually fact-checked that. Something about the Algonquin round table, I assume, where it is like don't clear other people's plates until the last person's done eating, because you're just putting a spotlight on them eating, and that makes them feel weird.
So you met my wife briefly here a little bit ago, and so she had a pre-COVID. She had a restaurant in Mississippi, like bakery type. I mean, she does everything, and she's an amazing chef. I was in the car business for a long time, and so you have these systems and processes. You have these teams, that type, that all have these different responsibilities. And when she and I started dating, like she would talk about what was going on in a restaurant, and then I just realized, oh wait a second, this is like an entity. Like this, like there's so much going on. That you don't necessarily understand unless you haven't been in that business, right? And so you can have grace for the server, right? I mean, you can have all that, but like sometimes stuff just sucks. Like, you know what I mean? Like the systems have broken down, and when that does happen, and you've kind of reached your limit or point of frustration, I love listening to you guys talk about that.
Well, we love to complain.
It's beautiful.
So
much that I was like, man, if this sucks, if they're like. In the next episode, they're like, we were on the Beal cast, and then like you were to like kind of like go through that with me. That would be a plus for it being a shitty episode, to be completely honest with you, because I would love to be like roasted by the two of you.
Oh, you want us to complain about you on our next episode?
I mean, sure. Yeah, I mean, if it's you can.
Noted.
I mean, but it's been okay, but it's been cool to this point, right? Like just as long as I know the real. Okay.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
I guess you'll hear.
So I love that energy, by the way. Okay, so I've got a couple questions here I want to ask you guys. Okay, so what is worse, bad service or bad food?
Bad food.
I would say bad food, because I would go back to a restaurant that had good food and bad service, but I would never.
Yeah, why would you go back?
You wouldn't go back.
Yeah.
You would never go back to a restaurant if it had bad food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you knowingly go into an environment where you're like, the service is going to be shit, but the food's going to be great?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure I have.
There is a place, I'm not going to say the name of it, but there is a place where it serves Italian food, and I think their food is delicious, but they can be quite rude and quite curt when you order or when they want you to, pick something up. And every single time I'm like, I hate this. I hate the way they're treating me, but I know the food is going to be so good.
You've talked about that on the pod.
Yeah,
so
I have.
you really earn it then, I mean, you're going to put yourself through that, but you know that like you're going to get the
their
net
food
result.
is so good.
All right, so I got another one. So it's not so much a question; it's more of like a commentary, because I had breakfast yesterday, my wife and I, and we had this delicious. The place I went had like a delicious like skillet.
Okay.
And but it was like on the plate, it was so big, like too much for the plate. Like it should have been, and I understand it looked great because it was on a smaller plate, but it was like the opposite of like when you open up a bag of Doritos. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just like, I felt like I was stressed by eating it because it was too much food for the plate that it was on.
I had to like think of an analog in my head for that, and that's how I feel when I go to the Russell and their salads. Like you eat and eat and it doesn't look like anything's happened. It's like being in Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Like I have been eating. Why does it still look like a full salad? I had to like put myself in that place, but yes, I understand.
There's a scene like that in the Phantom Toll booth. Have you read that book?
No, I don't know that book.
It's so good.
I mean, I know the title, but
oh, it's great.
Okay, putting it on the list.
Okay. Well, but yeah, I mean, salads are like if I want to get my bite without like dumping like a bunch of the salad on the side, on the table, or on the side or whatever, and I feel like it's, I could see why you would want to present your food that way because it's like, oh, these heaping portions, right? It's like a good value or whatever, but there's some stress that's associated with
because you're going to
that.
make a mess.
Yeah.
It's going to be embarrassing.
Yeah.
And all you want to do is eat your breakfast.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like an important question.
Yep.
Okay.
It was a skillet, but it was on a plate.
So it was like, yes. That's a really good point. Like I should have just been like, hey, can you just bring the skillet? Because that probably would have solved the problem.
Was it a hash? I don't understand. I feel like skillet is like implying.
On the menu,
Yeah.
it was a skillet. The way that it came out on a plate, and it came out on like a little ceramic, like white, like plate-looking skillet type thing. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh.
But
okay.
it was super. It was super
I'm
small.
assuming they did that because the skillet was so hot. They wanted to put it on something else that they could carry.
Well, I would have rather them just put it on the plate where I had enough room to like
Chili
work
style.
with.
But then it wouldn't be a skillet.
Yes, that's true. But then it wasn't really a skillet.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a skillet shaped dish. So anyway.
Okay. I just needed to clear that up for my
Where'd
own.
you go?
Okay.
I want to know.
I
Compulsion.
went to because the food was delicious, so I can say that. It is Sunrise on 39th.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I've never been in there, but I
Yes.
see it right next to Missy B's.
So yeah, and which do you do karaoke?
Well, I can. I have.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
I haven't in a while, but
Oh.
like I said, it's caused me health problems.
Oh, that's right. I've always wanted to do karaoke, but I've never done it. And every time I drive by there, I'm like, that's the place where I need to do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I
You've
have
never
a lot
done
of
karaoke?
Yeah, that's kind of
Sorry.
wild. No. Let's go this way.
I dated. I had a woman I was involved with that was a. We would go to this Tanner's a lot, and every Friday night they had like a karaoke or whatever, and I'd be like, I want to do that tonight. She'd be like, absolutely not,
Yeah.
Which, I think that says something about the relationship because I would think
Yeah.
most people would be like, yeah, get out there and go out there and do it. My wife now, she'd be super supportive. So, but
Nice.
this isn't a podcast. This is not a podcast about karaoke. Actually, I don't know what it's a podcast about. My name's Robert Beal. You've just watched an episode of the Beal Cast with Christina Schaefer and Kate Hogan of the Tart Party. We were blessed by Dulcinea Herrera for allowing us to shoot here in Café Corazon, and we have these cookies, which after the fact we can go ahead and eat those. But you guys have a good time?
Yeah.
All right,
thank
thanks.
you for having us.
great.
Yes, absolutely. So if you're an interesting person or you know interesting people and you have interesting spaces like this, and you think it'd be cool for us to come out and shoot a podcast, let us know. In the meantime, like, comment, share, all that stuff. Otherwise, we're gonna have our cookies.
Yeah, and check us out, Tart Party.
Oh man!
Yeah.
Do your thing.
Yeah, so we are hosted by Spotify, but we are on all of the major podcast apps through that RSS magic. So Tart Party, we are also on social media, Facebook Tart Party, Instagram Tart Party. We're on Reddit, Tart Party Pod, and Spotify Tart Party as well. So come visit us.
See, this is why I wanted you on, because you guys are like, you've been doing this for a while, and I'm a rookie, and that's exactly what I needed you guys to model for me.